Rhythm Falls. This is one of those scenarios I never even knew existed before I randomly scrolled down the scenario list and saw it had an alternative win condition. Is this a scenario any of you have ever played before? This feels so unknown to me. It is even called something different in the editor, Race for the Town, very inspired title, which I found out when I was looking for any events or hidden treasure I didn't know about after my playthrough, in case there was some better way to play this scenario. Anyway, this is a medium-sized scenario with 5 different colors. We can only play as red, located in the northwest. The only way to beat this scenario is to capture the neutral town in the southwest, probably supposed to be called Rhythm, but it always has a faction-specific name. There are a couple of small treasure zones there. The western one has a couple of Pandora's boxes, a dragonfly hive, and some artifacts laying around. Pretty decent, but very far away from our starting zone. The desert one has much of the same. A hive, Pandora's boxes, and strong artifacts, and also a mercenary camp. The rough terrain one shares the same properties, and also has a dragon utopia, which is pretty cool, but almost never doable in these short low turn count runs, unfortunately. The only way into Rhythm's zone is through the two-way portal, which literally couldn't be further away from our starting zone. Or you can access it by dimension door or fly, of course. To reach the two-way portal, we can either go through the desert zone, past Blues Town, but the desert absolutely destroys your movement points. Or you can go through the green two-way portal in the starting zone, which takes us to a smaller desert zone, killing our movement slightly less. The big question is, which route is the fastest? From simply looking at the map, I have a feeling that the two-way portal route is a bit shorter, but I can't say for sure. So, today, I'm gonna do a run of both routes, starting with the big desert zone route. Also, I got a bit hooked on the Ballista again last week, which means I'm gonna play some more Pyre. Not for pure speed reasons, as I suspect pathfinders like Corback, or even logistics specialists like Kier and Gunner would be faster. Monair would probably be faster too, but all Conflicts heroes are actually banned on this scenario. So, it's Pyre. But what's the strategy here? Unfortunately for the Ballista fans here, the best way to do the Desert Zone route strat is to pay a visit to the mercenary camp and get some real army, using whatever starting army I can muster up to get past the 2 fights blocking the entrance to the zone. Afterwards, it's route 1 to the portal, taking on the Rhythm Zone fights. Don't worry, the second playthrough strategy has a lot more Ballista action, which I know we all crave. Alright, this has been kept short and sweet, so let's just get down to business. Me as Inferno and Pyre, check. The other colors as different factions for no real reason, check. Gold bonus for all, check. Let's do a bit of Heroes of Might and Magicking. Remember to like, comment and subscribe. To find my preferred seed, I entered the Trog fight to the north and reset 6 times. Afterwards, I pick up some gold to the west, then some more gold from a chest and a campfire, and move Pyre slightly closer to the 2 fights guarding the desert zone, before I hire a second hero, Ivor. He brings some more imps along and trades his faster elves and centaurs over to Pyre, taking the slower imps for himself, before ending day 1. On day 2, Ivor transfers all but 1 imp back to Pyre, then picks up some gold, for whatever reason. Pyre, on the other hand, after rearranging her newfound army, takes on the menacingly strong pikemen blocking the path. Auto wins, but I need every imp I can keep. On turn 1, I surround my wood elves and leave 1 imp at the bottom as bait. After the Ballista knocks out 1 pikeman, the wood elves take out 10 more with 2 nicely placed shots. Now, it's a waiting fest, which ends with the Ballista finishing off the now 1 stack of pikemen. The rest of the fight is a breeze from here, as my ranged boys make sure the bottom pikeman never reaches my bigger tier 1 stacks. The 32 imps get the honor of finishing off the final pikeman. Easy peasy. Next up, dwarves. 28 of them, even with an upgraded stack. This fight follows the same script. Mostly. As always, when I have ranged creatures, I box them in on turn 1 using my less useful units, before I start checking whatever projectiles my ranged units use at my preferred targets. The battle dwarves are way faster than the regular dwarves, so they have to be focused down first. Unfortunately, they stay out of full damage range on turn 1, but the Ballista plus Elf combo takes them out on turn 2, after one imp had sacrificed itself. Now, it's a race against time, as the dwarves slowly but surely move towards my clump of creatures. Stack 2 is finished by my 31 imps, and the top stack is the next prey on my list. I also decide to use another 1 stack of imps as bait while the top dwarves are taken care of. This splits them up, buying me a little bit more time to fire away at range. Due to the dwarves' extremely low speed, I could, in theory, kite them around forever, but I want to speed it up a bit, so I end up taking some damage on my big imp stack. Eventually, after a couple more rounds of ranged action, the fight is finished. At least the Ballista got some action this playthrough. Not bad. On day 3, Ivor goes looking for more gold, getting close to a couple of chests, while Pyre feels the sand slowing her down immensely. No pathfinding equals no fun. The next day, she picks up a pile of mercury, then visits the mercenary camp, finding the best thing ever: 2 phoenixes. This allows me to dismiss every other creature Pyre has, as they would now slow her down the following days, and the phoenixes are probably strong enough to not need imps and centaurs. Ivor, meanwhile, continues his resource picking for literally no reason now. We get a glimpse of orange, before Pyre finally exits the desert, passing by a blue hero staying suspiciously still. Afterwards, they bolt away at the speed of light, while orange flags my poor unguarded town. Oh no, what am I to do now? I speed through the rough terrain, encountering 2 more blue heroes, but I have no beef with these guys, as long as they don't stand in my way. Ivor then hides, and blue's heroes realize they're at my mercy and don't run away. It's day 7 already, and I pass through the portal, taking me to the Ridden Zone. The portal guard of ogres should be fairly doable. Auto wins, but loses 1 phoenix. Unacceptable. I wait on turn 1, letting the ogres approach. The Ballista does basically no damage, so the phoenixes have to do the job, hitting the top stack first. The same stack then dies to a retaliation afterwards. The ogres are now split, making my life easier. 2 hits on the upgraded stack, after a lucky morale, leaves 1 alive. It goes after my Ballista, so I just leave it there, while I target the second unupgraded stack. 1 hit leaves 2, while a retaliation finishes them off. A quick fire breath on the last ogre ends the fight. Clean and easy. Guarding the town is a pack of pit fiends. Auto wins lossless, so let's see how we did it. Obviously just by flying in and wreaking havoc. The pit boys are relatively weak for a tier 5 unit, so it was never any doubt this would be a straightforward fight, even for Auto. The only thing left is the town, which is guarded by a measly 6 archers. I reflexively accept the results, but I don't think we missed out on a big fight here. I'm victorious in only 7 days. 396 score and Black Dragon rank is pretty good, but I'm definitely curious if the other route is faster. So let's just take a look. The strategy for this is not very complicated. The goal is to amass as big and fast of an army I can before Pyre is out of reach of other heroes who can bring her more army, while also getting XP to level up her secondary skills and maybe find archery if we're lucky. When this is accomplished, I just blast through all the zones, avoiding any opposing heroes and unnecessary fights. Hopefully. Alright, so me as Inferno and Fiona? Yes, you'll see why. The same factions for the other colors as last time? Check. Gold bonuses again? Check. Is this a better strategy? Let's find out. I entered the nearby gremlin fight and reset 7 times. This gives me Pyre in the tavern and an overall pretty good seed to work with. I leave everything but 1 hellhound in town and head out to pick up gold with Fiona, amassing a cool 2,500 from 2 chests, before she rides south. This gives me enough gold to hire Pyre, who takes the 2 hellhounds in town and sets out towards Rhythm. On her way, she gets 1500 XP from a chest, leveling up logistics to advanced, and passes through the 2-way portal, getting a whole 1 tile deep in the small desert zone. On day 2, Fiona gets a couple more chests, but looking back, my pathing here was pretty bad, so I could have gotten the campfire on day 1 as well. Still, I have more than enough gold to hire a 3rd hero, Gretchen, as well as upgrading the Imp Crucible, which nets me a nice 54 familiars in total. The lost campfire gold means I missed out on 4 familiars, but oh well. Gretchen finds Pyre in the desert, trading over the familiars, taking the hellhounds in return. They have the same speed, but I kinda wanted a nice, clean, familiar-only army. Pyre blazes through the desert, finding some nice grassland, while the other 2 heroes just do whatever in the meanwhile. Orange makes their presence known, and Gretchen joins Fiona as an inactive hero, before Pyre again races towards her goal, eventually finding the rough terrain zone. I'm not quite sure why the AI isn't playing more aggressively, as I don't think 54 familiars is that big of an army, but I obviously don't mind. Nothing of interest happens on day 4, just walking. We see some AI action leading into day 5, and a big event takes place. Pyre gets XP, leveling up into advanced artillery. Nice. She even finds a 2nd chest, getting expert logistics. Kinda useless, but +1 attack is good. She has just enough movement to get through the portal, finding it's guarded by greater basilisks. Auto wins, but loses 38 familiars. I can't lose this many to stand a chance against the next fight, so I have to do this myself. Only 10 basilisks, but familiars are weak, so it's still a bit tricky. I wait with everything, losing 1 familiar to a basilisk morale. I get my revenge with the Ballista, which kills the basilisk in 2 clean shots. Afterwards, I clump my 1 stacks around the big familiar stack, trying to preserve as many as possible. The basilisks pounce at the opportunity to kill my 1 stacks, but due to their 2 hex size, the terrain is favorable for me, splitting them up a bit. I use the Ballista, which glitches a bit, and big familiar stack to take out 2 more basilisks. This, however, opens up the path to my familiars, which the basilisks enjoy quite a bit. After taking care of my last 1 stack, a basilisk turned my familiars to stone, which is a big help, as the basilisks won't target them unless no other target exists. Nice! Another Ballista kill, and the 3 basilisk stacks surrounding the Ballista ignore my familiars. But the last stack unstones them, but dies to retaliation. This is my cue to just back off with the familiars, taking advantage of the AI's tendency to hit war machines. The basilisks will never win the DPS race against the Ballista here, so after a few turns of giga chadding from the Ballista, I emerge victorious, losing only 10 familiars. The Ballista, man, it's so strong, and cool, and handsome. On day 6, I have more than enough movement to make a pit stop at another chest, leveling up again, getting expert artillery. Now the Ballista is supercharged, which is really necessary when taking on the tier 5 creatures, Minotaur Kings. Only several, but still tough. Auto is ultra destroyed to the max, the poor lad, so this is no cakewalk. These cows are faster than my familiars. Not good. After waiting with the big stack, I immediately surround it with 1 stacks, and send the remaining ones down to slow the big bunch of Minos down. The Ballista does about 50 damage in 1 turn, which is how much health the Minos have. Very good. On turn 2, the cows go to town on my 1 stacks. Yikes. This is looking a bit grim. I decide my best course of action is to let the Ballista do the dirty work, but this time, it only does 42 damage, leaving the Mino target at 8 HP, so I have to finish it off with a big familiar stack. But it's exposed now. Thankfully, the Minos target the Ballista and the final 2 1 stacks, so I look for a decent spot to hide, finding the kinda cut off spot at the top, with only 2 hexes to be attacked from. The 3 Minos stacks targeting the Ballista will probably always keep their target, so I hit one of the unoccupied cows instead, not killing it. Oof, not good. My familiars take a beating the next turn. There's still a healthy stack there. The Ballista takes out a wounded cow, while the familiars euthanize the other nearby wounded creature. On turn 5, after this round of beatings, the Ballista still has 86 HP left, so this is gonna be a close shave. In case of low rolling the damage, I hit the 42 HP cow, thankfully killing it, while the familiars ends the miserable existence of the exposed Mino in the back by retaliating. After seeing the Ballista not killing another Moo in one turn, I entice the Milky Boys with the familiars, just to keep the war machine healthy. They take the bait, cutting the familiars deck down to 14. The Minos are both injured, so the top one is taken out by the familiars, while the Ballista gets the crowning glory of finally finishing this incredibly awesome fight with a projectile between the cow eyes. What a slog, but also an incredible showing for the Ballista. There's no denying the greatness now. Just the town fight left, 14 familiar for this. Just kidding, it's empty, so I can just stroll in, claiming my hard-earned victory in a mere 6 days. 396 score again. I love black dragons. Seems to me that Route 2 is superior, which is what I thought at the beginning, but it's nice to have it confirmed. Anyway, it's always great to be able to use the Ballista. It really is my favorite war machine, which is why I named my highest tier of channel membership after it, which you can become as well, but no pressure. If you enjoyed this video, I would love a like, comment and a subscription. I hope to see you next time, and that you have a might and magically good day. Bye bye. As always, a huge thank you to all my channel members, as well as an extra special shout out to my Ballista channel members, Escubani, Lika, Van Lunis, Rick Vishaupt, and Kat. I appreciate your support so much.